Boomer. Good boy. Need some more water? Let me get you some more water.
Ducks. Hey everyone, how we doing? How we doing? Oh, get out of the water. You guys spilled the water. Good boy. I am good. Another hot day. I thought we were getting a cool down. Obviously not. Hell, turkeys are being annoying. Absolutely. Thank you, Nora. It is definitely good. Hopefully the cool down comes. Serving up some sweet corn today. Everybody loves sweet corn. Not everyone likes peas. But they'll eat them. Absolutely is. Just keep trying to find different things that they'll eat. Give some variety to their diet instead of the commercial feed. Look at you guys showing off your pretty feathers. Everybody's showing off their feathers. All right, Michael. Showing off our feathers right now. I don't know what we're doing. Howdy, Michael. Welcome. Turkeys decided to join me up here on the porch. How much do they weigh? I don't really know how much the turkeys weigh. I bet they're over 20 pounds. I've lifted them a couple times. I like eating turkey. I don't eat my turkeys. They're all pets to me. They provide me endless entertainment. So you can see what, Michael? What are you looking for? Erline Jackson, how you doing? Yep, we got some geese. Got 2 geese right there, Lucy and Desi. Got a little bit of everything here. Even got my Great Dane running around with him. Boomer, what are you doing? These guys are full grown. Hey, Boomer, you good boy? Yeah. Good boy to all the animals? Guess so. He's on a mission. I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing it. Boomer is a Doberdane. He's half Great Dane, half Doberman. He's about 120 pounds, and he stands 37 inches tall, which puts him in the extra, extra large category for dogs. His mother and grandfather had that Harlequin color, and his grandfather was like 200 and some pounds. His mom was like 175, and because he's half Doberman and half Great Dane, he got a lot of the attributes of the slenderness of the Dobermans, but he got the height of the Great Dane. And he got the head of a Great Dane too. So, it's pretty good. Oh, you guys spilled your water, knuckleheads. So it's worked out pretty well. Oh, you knuckleheads. Still in the water. Thank you, thank you. Yep. Boomer is 5 years old. He just went through a bunch. I filmed some of it, but when you're in the moment, yep, we just found out Boomer has onset or pre-kidney disease. So we just switched him to a kidney sensitive diet. We're using the Hills brand. If anybody has a dog with kidney disease, we're just recently experiencing that. Our dog has pre-kidney disease. We just switched his diet. We only found out he had pre-kidney disease because on July 4th, he ended up bleeding. He was bleeding through his genitals, and took him in. Found out he had a large prostate. He was not neutered, so we got him neutered. And that's when before we got the neutering, we got the blood work that was done, which was very important. That told us that he had another issue, so we did everything we could. He's been neutered. That has cured his prostate issue, and then he recently, I think for the last 8 weeks, we've switched him to Hill's diet for dogs with kidney disease, and that's really helped him out. So if there's anybody out there that has a dog that's kind of going lame or acting estranged, maybe that's something to look into, is a blood panel. That blood panel potentially saved his life by getting that blood work done. Look at them all showing their feathers. They're all studding out right now. I don't know what they're doing. Well, I appreciate it. Appreciate it, Comp. Yeah, we have a good time here. We relax. Sitting on the porch, hanging out. Appreciate it. So if anyone's out there got a dog with kidney disease, we switched a lot of their treats because one of the things with dogs is too high a protein. Our dogs absolutely loved pig ears. So we have definitely switched away from pig ears to more like sweet potato based treats, because pig ears are very high in protein. I'm talking like 60, 70, 80+% in protein. So I've learned a lot, and it's been very beneficial to switch to things that are between 6 and 20% protein. Those are still a little high on the 20 side, but it's nowhere near what a pig ear was. So sweet potatoes have worked out. There's a commercially made one. Walmart sells it, and some of the other Rural King and Tractor Supply, they sell a sweet potato and chicken wrapped mix. We've got sweet potato sticks, and we're kind of seeing if the dogs like it right now. But if they do, I don't know, maybe I'll think about buying a dehydrator so I can make bigger, tougher chews out of the sweet potatoes, and then just make a bunch one day and just kind of put them in the refrigerator. Boomer likes chewing, so got a bunch. Xfinity. That's crazy. I haven't heard of Xfinity in a long time. Xfinity's still around there, Michael. Interesting. Duck, what's up? Well, it looks like all the chickens came back. For a while there, I was wondering where everybody was. Look at this. Got this little wild man up here. Let's see if he'll stay right here if I throw some corn. Look at that hair. Look at that hair. Woo-wee, Mr. Scar. Here's a little bit for you, since you're the smallest rooster. They can't get you up here. They're not going to jump up here, big guy. Can't ever catch him crowing. I'd love to add him to the name Yelling Chicken thing, but sometimes he just doesn't crow. Ducks have had a long day of swimming and eating and swimming in the pond. It's been a very hectic day for them, so they're just relaxing now up by the house. Good night. Boomer, leave the chicken alone. Boomer, stop. Being a bad boy. Good night. Go chase the deer. They're all coming in. I have chickens and ducks. I don't have a chicken duck. That'd be cool if that was even such a thing, CC. I don't think it can happen. Now, I know geese can breed with ducks. It happens. It's not an everyday occurrence, but it happens. But from what I've read, because I was curious, it sounds like the males and females come out sterile, but it's kind of like when you breed a horse and a donkey together, you get a mule. So it's kind of the same effect. Now, we do have some pretty big flocks of female turkeys. I've never had a chicken duck. It'd be an interesting combo. But I'm pretty sure they can't breed because they're in two different species. But because the geese and the ducks are waterfowl, that could happen. I would like to see all four of my male turkeys back there breed with the wild hens or turkeys. The wild female turkeys are called hens. They're called toms. I would love to see the hens come up here. They've came up here a couple times. That'd be cool if they would hang out with them and breed. That'd be cool to see. Yep, zebra horse will work. They're in the same family. I think it would be cool. We have the wild turkeys we have are kind of dark like these bronze ones. I think it would be cool to see one of the white ones and all of them breed. There's probably about 18 female hens running around, wild hens running around, so that would be interesting. Oh, that's awesome. 17? Well, right now, I think we're at about 40 chickens. We've got 2 roosters, about 38 hens. At one point, we had, I don't know, 70, 75, 80. We used to have 6 roosters and 80 hens. Hey, Richard. Yeah, we used to have about 60, yeah. I know for sure we had 6 roosters at one day. Well, it depends how old your chickens are. Some of my chickens they were 8 years old. They don't even lay, but they make good, for my case, because my chickens free range all over our property, they make good teachers. And every once in a while they lay an egg, but I think they're teaching all of my new ones is more valuable than anything, at least in my case. I think today I only got 10 eggs out of 38 hens, but most of those eggs came from my new ones. And then the ducks started laying. The ducks give me about 4 eggs a day. But their eggs are so big, it's like getting 2 chicken eggs. So those are pretty big. But with this oh, come on, man. But with the hot weather recently, a lot of them have kind of quit laying, but we're supposed to get a cold streak here, so hopefully a couple of them lay. Yeah, I've had mine, if they lay them and they crack, they'll eat the eggs, but they're just not turning around and eating them for fun. I've definitely had it happen. You can see when the other eggs are all covered in goo. Sometimes they just break when they land on top of the other ones. Anything's possible. I wish you guys would stop spilling the water. It's the 3rd time. Mostly, the only time I really get cracked eggs or broken eggs is when they lay them somewhere they're not supposed to. I recently got a new nesting box. Yeah, right. They definitely keep spilling the water. Today's not their night. Maybe that's like my sign they want clean water. If I have some rollaway nest boxes that I got from hen gear that I use, the hens that have taken to the rollaway nest box, I haven't had any broken eggs, and the eggs come out looking just absolutely awesome in a rollaway nest box. Any of the hens that decide to lay on the ground or lay in the duck. So in my case, the hens have no problems laying right next to the ducks. They will all go into the duck house and everybody will lay eggs. And that with that little door open there, that's where that's the duck house. So they'll go in there and lay their eggs, and then the chickens will walk in there side by side with them, and then everybody will lay their eggs. So there's not much I can do to prevent the ducks. Like, I'm happy the ducks go in there and lay their eggs naturally. Like, they'll walk back from the pond, lay their egg, and walk back out. So I'm glad that happens, but because I let all of my animals free range during the day, I can't prevent them from not going in there. But I bet if I locked them in there, maybe I'd have a higher rate of them laying eggs in the rollaway nest box. But I know come winter time, we don't, on our farm, we don't force any of the hens to lay eggs during the winter time. My belief is to give them that time off to recuperate from laying eggs all spring, summer, and some in the fall. So I know some people that doesn't work out for them, and that's okay. Everyone has a different choice on what they like to do. But I don't put any lights in there to stimulate them. My animals live outside all day. I don't have heaters. Don't believe in heaters because they want, hey, stop. You're going to spill the water. Quit that. Quit that. So I don't have heaters in any of my coops. I don't have much of anything. It's very basic and rudimentary. You can see it's pretty much just, I've got some barn tin up top, pressure treated 2x4s and some 6x8s. Yeah, just keep it simple. I see a lot of other content creators. They have some of the wildest and craziest coop designs, and your animals could care less. At that point, it's all about the humans. So, frankly, you could put them in a wooden box and they would be happy as can be, as long as you give them in some kind of shelter and a windbreak in the wintertime, depending on what your winters are like. And somewhere dry when it's pouring rain. Most of these animals are really happy. Obviously, look at them. They're all wagging their tails. They're all eating. They know it's time to come up here and not free range. So it's just one person's perspective for people that are either trying to get into it or find this interesting. I know a lot of people go on the internet and start seeing all these crazy coops and thousands of dollars for a coop. You don't absolutely need to spend any of that. Look at this. They're drinking out of a mixing bowl, a plastic bowl. Yes, I have the two fancier feeders over there for ducks and chickens, and I have the automatic feeders, but at the end of the day, they'll drink water out of a puddle. What does that tell you? All this fancy stuff, it can be helpful as a tool, but in my case, they'll go drink out of a puddle. Oh, you gotta spill that water again. There it goes. Fourth time. I'm done filling it. Yep. They'll be going to bed here soon anyways. That is so annoying. That would be the negative to having a bowl. Now for my bigger animals, I have an automatic watering bowl, or it's kind of like a basket. You'll see it at the end when I go to put the ducks to bed and start putting all the other animals to bed. But if you don't make it to the end in another 20 or 30 minutes, fast forward to the end or fast forward to the end on some of my other videos, you'll see I use a automatic dog watering bowl. It says it holds 3 gallons of water. I suppose it does. And then I hook it up. I plumbed it out to, it works with I think it's a 20 gallon Home Depot water cooler. I plumbed it out that way, so they get the initial 3 gallons in there plus the 20 gallons from the orange Home Depot water cooler. So they get water all day if I choose not to let them out or the weather's bad, especially in the mornings. If I don't get to them, I've got automatic doors that let everybody out and they all have food and water. So that's very helpful. I'm a big advocate for making this really easy and simple when people start asking me questions. Good question. Love it. Keep them coming if people have questions. So because my ducks free range all over our property, they eat pretty much any of the grass, the weeds, a lot of those things they would naturally eat in the wild. We have the pond. The pond has stocked with fish and minnows, so they'll eat any of the fish if they can get a hold of them. We also have commercial feed available for them. The commercial feed is right there. I give that to them in case they need it. And then where this other duck is, this right here is scratch grain. So that's got corn. What else has it got? Corn, soybean. I mix in sunflowers to give them to raise the protein level in there, because sunflowers got a little bit of protein. It's whole sunflowers that you would put in for birds. What else do we got here? Yeah, and they'll pretty much eat any of the weeds. I don't really have a lot of whoop. Yeah, the geese don't like the other animals getting close to their ducks. They're their bouncers. But they'll definitely eat that. I've got a couple food plots that I've made. They have different greens at times. Like this year in the back right here, I've got a food plot. Let's see if my finger gets, this whole area right here, that's all purple top turnips. So if they make their way down there, they'll eat all that. I also have the food plot wraps around. It's about a 4 or 5 acre food plot. I tried to plant one next to their area right here. All this right here was supposed to be a food plot, but like most of the United States, we're in a drought. So nothing grew there. But in that lower part of our land, it must have retained water better. So there is a lot of nutrient stuff down there. A lot of the deer are in there right now. I've got cameras all over my place, trail cameras. The deer are in there now. Some of the other things that I really encourage people to do is start a garden. We have a 20 by 50 garden, and I try to grow as much food that we will eat and things that we will eat in our house, and also as much stuff as that the ducks and the geese and all the animals will eat to cut down on my food bill during the summer. Because as everyone knows, as soon as fall and winter time comes, all this stuff stops growing, so they're gonna hit the feed a lot harder And when they start hitting that feed is when your food bill goes up. So in the garden, yeah, it's a lot to think about, but you can make everything really simple and easy. For our garden this year, I grew watermelons, tomatoes, and cucumbers. In the watermelons, I think I got about over 1,000 pounds of watermelon. And I probably still have another 200 to 400 pounds left in there that's ripening. So I bet I could, every couple of days, I put a watermelon out here for them to eat. And I say I got that much in watermelon because these watermelons are averaging between 30 and 40 pounds. So these aren't your 5-10 pound watermelons that you're buying at the store. These are 40-pound watermelons, homegrown. I don't use any chemicals. I use a lot of organic fertilizers or waste from the chickens and the animals. I try to keep my soil as nutrient rich as possible. I found the more I keep the soil nutrient rich through the animals, the less money I've ever had to spend in trying to buy commercial grade fertilizers. But they really like those watery, they really like the watery foods that I grow between the watermelon and the cucumbers. They love those. So it's worked out really well. I encourage anyone who has animals to start a little garden just to cut down on your feed bill. I think part of my goal, I'd like to start a garden out here. I currently have a garden closer to our house, but I'd like to start a second garden out here with all those kinds of things so that I could just go back there. Or one of the other things I'd like to do is have a garden where I could open up like a garden door and let all the animals in there, and then they could kind of pick away anything that's fallen down or eat any of the bugs. Just make everything as natural as possible. Yeah, I think it's cool. It's definitely cool when you save a ton of money. It's definitely cool. Pretty much the geese and the ducks barely cost me any food during the summer because they graze on all the grass. You know, they do a great job with that. I think the ducks and the turkeys eat more of the duck feed than the ducks and the geese eat of the waterfowl feed. So a lot of this is as expensive as you want to make it. You could go out and get, like I said, a couple of 4x4s, some pressure treated plywood, paint it. You could be done. But kudos to all those people out there that are making real fancy coops and putting wallpaper and mirrors and pictures in there. That's all about the humans. The animals could care less. What are you doing? Hey, buddy. Yeah, you like that? No one's bothering you now. Yeah, looks like the turkeys are starting to go to bed to roost. Half of my flock sleeps outside. The half of the other flock likes to go up in the rafters. They're waiting for Boomer to move so that they can walk in there. We've got a turkey right now that's about to jump up. I don't have anything crazy. They'll just hop up on a 2x4 right there. This turkey will literally walk up that plank to my top rafters. Some of the turkeys will jump on top of the, I got a 5-gallon bucket with some chicken waterers. They'll jump on the bucket and up in the rafters there. But this one will probably say nope. We've got a secondary cage in there in case there's any hurt animals. But the other animals will just jump up there and walk over. I think I'm eventually going to take that cage out. When the chickens and turkeys were growing up, we put them in there so that all the animals could see them. It's a process that we use when trying to acclimate all the other animals in with each other so there's no aggression. Boomer, leave him alone. I highly recommend anybody getting into this to never ever just throw all your new animals in with your entire flock. That is a massive no-no. typically I'll let all the animals, I'll put all the new ones in a cage like that and let the rest of the flock and other species see them all so they don't view them as an intruder. Now the ducks we had out here for a couple weeks, and the geese, they hated them. So it's really interesting now to watch how, I think after about a month of the geese realizing that after the geese realized that the ducks were a part of this place and not going anywhere, they kind of really accepted them. Desi's right here. He has angel wing. We adopted him that way. And then there's Lucy. Lucy is definitely the boss of everyone. Desi right here. He is the boss of all the ducks. He's right in the middle of them, leading the charge. And then Lucy will stay with any of the ones that are sick or hurt. She does a good job pulling up the rear, which is crazy to believe because before all they wanted to do was fight all the ducks. And man, when I was reading some of these blogs and online stuff, man, I was like, man, this is going to stink. None of the ducks and geese are ever going to get along. But thankfully, they found a way to coexist. Like right now, this duck right there, that is Desi's favorite duck. He's always with her. We've had her up at the house for the last 2 weeks. She has Bumblefoot. We've had all these animals for about 8 years, and we got Bumblefoot twice. We have our rooster, Rocky. That's part of the name yelling chicken bit. And he's up at the house right now. And this is the first day Lucy's been back out here in 2 weeks. So she's pretty tired. It's the first time she's really been walking on her foot with the whole flock. And Desi's just staying by her side. But her left foot is still pretty swollen, but not as swollen as before. But we were able to get the Bumblefoot out. And this is one of our special needs ducks, Cuddles, because we used to hold him all the time. So we named him Cuddles. But he's got a heart murmur. We found one vet that would look at the ducks, and he was born cross-legged, but we give him the best life possible. But the vet said he'd probably die, either the heart murmur will never affect him and he'll live to a long age and die naturally, or he'll die of a heart attack because of the heart murmur. So we did everything you could for him. We gave him the vitamin B. We gave him the niacin. At some point, you have to accept the fact that this is the way the duck was created. Because if you're into animals, you think these multi-million-dollar corporations want to put out bad animals? No. See, she's limping right now. She's limping. Her left foot is still slightly swollen, but she's moving along with the Bumblefoot. The reason she's out here, that we made the decision to put her out here, is because the whole pad of her foot is completely healed from the Bumblefoot, but there's still some swelling, and I'm sure there's some pain. It's going to take some time, but we figured maybe for her health, she'd want to be with the flock. So she did a bunch of swimming today. We drove her out to the pond where all the ducks and everybody were. That's probably when a lot of the real work comes in, is when they get sick. There's no chicken, duck, goose, or turkey vet where we live within, several hundred miles. So if you're getting into this kind of animal keeping with the little birds, I cannot recommend enough getting some kind of medical kit. We've had things slowly as things have happened, but kind of wish I had some things when the Bumblefoot happened. But you live and you learn. This is a new thing, and I've had all these animals for over 8 years. Every day something new. Good questions, Nora. Do you have any animals, Nora? Thinking about getting into it if you don't have any? Uh-oh, here they come. I can hear them all. Here they come. Oh, they're turning to the pond. My neighbor's got a 5-acre pond. It was a whole flock of geese. Yep, they're going to my neighbor's pond. I can hear them all. Here they come. There they all go. There goes all the Canadian geese. They're circling, looking for somewhere to land for the night. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I'm allergic to cats. Well, not really. Allergic to their dander. I'm not allergic to them per se. I would have cats. I definitely have found value in cats out here. There's some mice at times. We've had as many as 5 dogs. We're down to 2. Awesome. They're all pretty awesome. Yeah, some people are like, are you going to get horses? Are you going to get goats? Are you going to get cows or pigs? Nope. I got a buddy that's got over 300 goats if I need to go see goats. Definitely got a couple neighbors with horses. And, you know, the bigger the animal, the bigger the bill. And there's not a lot of horse doctors where we live either. They exist, but there's few. We've got a couple farriers that will reshoe horses. Don't want goats. They're escape artists, and they are messy. They're great at clearing land, but if you don't have the land to sustain goats, they are messy. My buddy's goat farm in the springtime with all the rain stinks. Just gross. You got the zoomies, Boomer? That's right, Blaze. We've got the ducks and the geese. I call them the party animals, the night owls. They're the ones that stay out the latest. Everybody else is in bed right now. That is probably one of the most difficult things with the turkeys and the geese is they don't go to bed. They don't go to roost like the chickens or the turkeys. They do not roost. They will stay out all night. So eventually the ducks will get tired. The ducks will do their duck bedtime walk. And then once I get all the ducks in their pen, I'll try and corral the 2 geese into their house. And then in the morning, I'll let everybody out and we'll do it all over again. I thought that's a great question, Brent. During the chicken craze in early March of this year, February and March of this year, 2026, every place I went to was sold out of chickens. I have the space for ducks. I said, why not get ducks? They lay eggs. And frankly, when the ducks start laying eggs, their eggs are so big, it's almost like 2.5 times the size of a chicken. So today I got 4 duck eggs And if they're between two and 2.5 sizes of a duck, that's like I got a dozen eggs for the day out of 4 duck eggs. So that's really what ended up happening. And that's kind of how we got the turkeys too. Turkeys lay eggs, but we ended up with 4 tom turkeys, which is fine. They're cool. They'll do their thing. But originally we had 11 ducks. We're down to 9. 2 of them ended up having some physical disabilities where their tendons slip off their joint and it's not repairable. So we had to say goodbye to those. And then this duck right here in front of us was born cross-legged and a heart murmur. It ended up being a boy. So no, they don't stress out the geese. The geese do. In the beginning, the geese definitely were not happy with the ducks at all. They thought that the ducks were intruders and they tried to fight them and they were chasing them around. And then after about 6 to 8 weeks, they kind of quit and were like, oh, you guys are here to stay? And look at them now. No, actually the geese are pretty good. If the ducks got to lay an egg, some of the ducks will come out of the pond, walk up into this is our duck house right here, this one right here with the open door, and they'll come in here and lay, and when the ducks are done laying, they'll go back to the pond and swimming with everyone. So we've got 8 female ducks and we got 3 boys, and this one's a boy, but he's got some special needs, so he doesn't really do much. As you can see, he's sitting because he's got some leg issues and deformities. But guineas, oh my goodness, yes, 100% with the guineas. One of our neighbors had guineas, and he would feed it bread and corn and just absolute low nutrient food. So once these guineas discovered that our hens free ranged over here, that our animals period free ranged everywhere, the guineas were here all the time, and they would stress out my entire flock. And I'm with you. The neighbor, there was about 4 of them that would come over here, and it was just utter chaos. The chickens wouldn't go by them, but then again, I didn't have the geese at that time, so I don't know how the geese would have handled the guineas. I'm sure they probably would have ran them off, and maybe that would have solved my problem, but I didn't have the geese at that time. I have hatched eggs out. I've hatched chicken eggs out. I've never hatched duck eggs out. And I don't know if so I'm pretty sure that this is a male and a female goose, but my female goose has never laid eggs. And I vented them, and I've only seen the one goose. He is sizably bigger, and he has tried to breed with her, but she just hasn't laid an egg, and I just don't know if she's sterile, honestly, and not laying eggs. So that's very interesting. Great question, Nora. Bumblefoot is an infection. The animals get a small cut in their foot, and in that cut, because they naturally, it's actually staph infection that ends up growing in their foot and kind of mutating into that infection. And for our 2 animals, by the time we notice it, because either you notice it when they're starting to limp, and essentially it's like a little scab, and inside of that scab, picture your front tooth at times, there is this hardened pus that's in there, and you get that out of their foot, and now they're left with this tooth-sized hole. So when I pulled that out of the duck, you put Neosporin on it. Depending on how bad it is, you can put Prid on it to try and loosen it up. We gave Epsom salt baths to loosen it up. And then at that point, you pull the entire infection out as much as you can get. And there's some blood and pus that comes out, and then pretty much you bandage it. I used horse leg wrap and gauze to kind of let it heal up for the last couple weeks. And then once that's healed up and the pad is all naturally healed, I kind of let them start walking around. So So that's kind of Bumblefoot. Kind of all animals can get it, whether they could cut their foot on a rock or cut it somehow from a rock in the grass or something. So Bumblefoot happens. How often do you find fertilized eggs from the ducks? You know, I don't know. I don't know. I've never let the eggs just sit out there. But I do have two male ducks. And I'm sure that they're fertilized at some point. I just don't know how fertilized they are, Brent. But yeah, it's time for their bedtime march. I'm under the understanding from some research and light reading that I did, Brent, that this breed of duck, being one of the larger, heavier set breeds, they say that they don't do very good at natural breeding as compared to some of the other ducks. Good question. I have zero plans on eating any of the animals here. To me, I like informing people and creating content with them, so I have zero plans to eat any of them. But I know these ducks are good for that. Now I know these are a multi-purpose breed. These are essentially the Aflac ducks. These are the Pekin or Pekin ducks. And I know people will definitely breed this style of duck out because of their hardiness and how big they get. So these ducks were born like March 25th, and they've been full size for the last month or so. And some people will definitely breed these ducks for consumption. That is not my belief. I just have them for their eggs, and I think they're cool. Now, the one thing that does stink is that you can buy all of these, everything but the geese in our area. We have Rural King and Tractor Supply. You can buy the ducks, the chickens, sometimes they have guineas, but our area does not sell geese in store. I know that I live in Illinois. I do know that some of the bigger hatcheries, if you live by them, they will sell geese and guineas and things out of their storefronts, which I think would be dangerous for me because now, see, look at him. He's just trying to go in there with all of them. I'm glad I don't live by a major hatchery because that would be dangerous for me. I'd probably be in there every weekend buying animals because then they have specials and they try to get rid of them. I'd need some VIP thing with them. So right now, that is the watering system that I was talking about. That is I think it's a 20-gallon Home Depot cooler that I plumbed out. And then I have a steel braided cable that then goes to this watering dish right there. And that it essentially has a float valve on it like a toilet. And it automatically fills up the water for them. And for my 8 ducks, that is plenty of water for them to be sustained throughout the whole day. I've got a tarp over them so that they can stay cool. And then I got a hanging feeder in there. And then if I leave them in here, or we go somewhere and someone takes care of them, I've got 2 55-gallon tubs that they can swim around in. So I actually went 2 guinea when I got my chicks because my daughter picked out 2 random ones. Oh my goodness. Oh, come on. Yeah, guineas, my neighbor's guineas were incredibly loud and incredibly annoying. So Yeah, guineas are not for me. But my neighbor had them, so it is what it is. Ooh, come on now. But that's an automatic chicken coop door. It's an automatic solar-powered chicken coop door or coop door. They don't have to, they label them for chickens, but that hole is big enough for the ducks to learn to just literally lower their head. Oh my goodness, I'm sure it was absolutely horrible, Brent. They are so loud, they don't stop. I was not thrilled with my neighbor's guineas, and his response to me was, well, if you don't like them, just shoot them. No, I'm not going to take care of your problem because you won't take care of your animals. That's not fair to me. No, don't think so. Be a responsible pet owner. And I'm sorry you guys had to go through that. Hopefully you were able to rehome them to someone or give them away for free at that point, because I do not want guineas. They're loud, they're annoying, and at least the geese quiet down at some point during the day. I've asked the neighbors, you know, we have several thousand acres around us, but some of the homes are closer. And I've asked some of the neighbors, like, hey, are the geese annoying at all? And they're like, we don't even know you have geese. And I've got some close neighbors on different aspects of my property. So I'm sorry you had to go through that, Brent. That's just horrible. All right, I'm gonna be right back. I gotta put Lucy and Desi to bed. All right, you knuckleheads, let's go. I gave one away and the other one got into a fight with the rooster and never saw it again. Oh, well, I guess that makes life easy. Didn't have to worry about them. Come on, guys, let's go to bed. Come on. Come on, Lucy, Desi, go to bed. Over here. All right, come on, let's go to bed. Good job. No, don't go that way. Thank you. everybody went to bed.
We'll manually shut the door.
Whew. Oh yeah. I don't know if you're still here, Brent, but yeah, it's incredibly difficult to catch those big birds. Especially if you don't handle them a lot when they're babies. Like, that's the one advantage I have over the turkeys, is they'll come up real close to me because, number one, I feed them at night, every night, and give them treats. And then the other thing is we handled them a lot when they were babies. But hey, I appreciate all you guys stopping by, watching the Feed the Animals, asking good questions. As always, mother cluckers, keep clucking, and I will see you tomorrow. If you got any other questions, go ahead and message me. Have a great night, everybody.